Okay, it's 4:13, Tuesday, May 2nd. This is a Sangerville Select Board, it's an emergency meeting. It will be brief. I think we could just skip the Pledge of Allegiance. It's just the four of us here. Jeff's with us. The purpose of this meeting is, last night's normally scheduled Select Board meeting, there was a threat of litigation. In fact, I think, well, it involved Jeff Peters, Lance Johnson. They had received a document from Mike Gould. And they thought it was defamatory, but anyway, they essentially read a letter from their attorney advising us to get legal representation. So the point of this meeting is not only to get our concerns on the record, but we'd like to give Jody the authority to work with the town's attorney. Anytime we have anybody call on an attorney, that should be authorized because you're spending money. Right. Jeff obviously will work with the attorney, but Jeff is not a full-time town manager and we need to have coverage for that. So my motion is that we give Jody the authority to deal with the attorney on these legal issues.
Second.
All in favor? Any further discussion on this? I found the whole thing kind of shocking.
Yeah. And yeah, it was. So we'll just proceed and, I mean, I think we're in good shape.
Okay. One other thing that I'd like to do, I didn't realize that last night wasn't gonna be my last meeting, so it turns out tonight is my last meeting. And I'd like to take this opportunity to hand the reins over to Jody. I'd like to resign my chairmanship and nominate Jody to be chair.
Second.
All in favor? Jody is now chair. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's really been great working with you guys.
Well, I want to, on behalf of the town, on behalf of this board, say thank you to Mike for the 9 years.
Yeah, well, close.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You stepped in and filled the slot, your first term, but it has been a pleasure working with you, and I only have learned so much from you and your guidance, and even Keel has really, I think, put this town on a good course. So hopefully,
and for being chair.
Yeah, for all 9 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly.
It was funny, we were talking about experience in that letter we wrote, our collective experiences over 20 years. And when the three of us started, because of the sequencing, I thought, we're probably the most inexperienced board in the history. We had 2 years of experience with three combined people. So we've learned a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, anything else?
Yeah, I kind of got one other thing about last night's meeting. The conversation on the land issue, we'll just leave it at that, I guess. When the one thing that I think we tended to do, a lot of things within this town, we know the documentation from 50 or whatever years ago is not always the greatest. And the one thing we've always had to do is we've had to rely on citizens that either were a part of it or their knowledge or whatever. Whether the speech or however you want to verbiage it, the statements that Mr. Campbell made last night to me were phenomenal about that whole property. Clearly his family's been wrapped around that whole piece up there for well before the town owned it. And he's probably the most knowledgeable person we have. I know last night we have it on tape, it's gonna be in our minutes, but I was just curious, Jeff, if it might be worth it for you to reach out to Mr. Campbell to see if, you guys could sit down together and kind of write down that family history as he recalls it. So we actually do have that as some solid information, so we can move that forward.
He also offered a good perspective of a person who's, what it's like with people have unlimited access. It wasn't all rainbows and lollipops.
No, it's not.
And and the other thing on that topic, there was a woman that was saying there would be a great educational environment. It's children could snowshoe and that sort of thing. And I had no idea how that would be received by the landowner, but based on conversations that I've had with him, if an individual reached out to him and said, I have a small group of kids that would like to go snowshoeing up here, do you mind? I wouldn't be shocked if he said, I'm okay with that.
Right, right.
So,
right.
but he gets to decide.
Right, I think it's on an individual basis,
Yep.
that these individuals, if they wanna use it, that they would need to propose how and why they wanna use it, and when they wanna use it, so that he is aware of who's in there,
Right.
and that's his right. And
And if you get somebody who's raving at you or screaming at you, you probably
Yeah.
don't even wanna help them.
That's
So
right.
it just depends on, I mean, so anyway, I
right.
just thought it was
Yeah.
kind of an interesting mix.
no, and Dale, I think your point is really good, I appreciated, Dennis Campbell coming.
It was interesting when he said, because he knew when that road,
Yeah.
and somebody corrected, well, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
actually, he
he
probably does
probably
know.
does,
Yeah, he does,
It's like 3 generations there, I think
Yeah.
he said.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah. So,
Okay.
anyway,
It was interesting, cause I've heard lots of pieces about that property, but when he actually laid out that whole timeline, I thought it was pretty neat, so. for sure.
One last thing on this legal threat. I listened to a meeting again today, and they mentioned that the town manager was likely to receive either an email or a letter or both from their attorney. Has that happened yet?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll know when it gets here, so. Okay, anything else? It's 4:20, motion to adjourn.
second.
We are adjourned.